Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, I will tell you a very scary but exciting story in simple English. This story will help you practice listening, understand English better, and enjoy at the same time. The story's title is The Night of Fear. Are you ready? Let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Emily. Emily lived in a very small town, in a little house at the edge of the forest. Her house was old, with wooden floors and a big window in her bedroom. Emily loved reading books at night. Every evening, when the town became quiet, she would sit in her room, turn on her lamp, and open one of her mystery novels. Reading at night made her feel calm, but sometimes it also made her imagination strong. That night, Emily was reading a thick book with the title Dark Secrets. The house was silent. Outside, the wind was blowing gently through the trees. She could hear the sound of leaves moving in the night. Inside her room, only two sounds could be heard: the tick, tick, tick of the old clock on the wall, and the soft sound of her turning the pages. But suddenly, another sound joined them. Tap, tap, tap. It came from the window. Emily looked up, surprised. Her eyes grew wide. Her heart started to beat faster. Emily listened carefully. For a moment, everything was silent again. She shook her head and whispered, "Maybe it's just a tree branch." But the sound came again. Tap, tap, tap. This time louder. Slowly, Emily put her book aside. She stood up from her chair, her feet making soft creaks on the wooden floor. She walked closer to the window, her hands trembling. She pulled the curtain just a little and peered outside. But all she could see was darkness, the night sky, the forest, and the faint light of the moon. No person, no animal, nothing. Emily closed the curtain quickly. Her chest was rising and falling fast. She tried to calm herself. "It must be the wind," she whispered. But inside, she knew it was something different. Then another sound came, not from the window this time, from behind her. Thump, thump, thump. It sounded like heavy footsteps. Emily spun around quickly. Her eyes scanned the room, but it was empty. Nothing moved. Nothing was there. Her hands covered her mouth. She wanted to scream, but no sound came out. The clock on the wall began to tick louder. Her heartbeat joined the sound, echoing in her ears. Then the lights in her room flickered. On, off, on, off. The room grew darker. Shadows danced on the walls. Emily whispered, "Please, please stop." Her voice was shaky, almost too soft to hear. And then it happened. Her phone rang. The sudden sound was so loud, so sharp, that Emily jumped back. Her hands shook as she picked it up. She pressed it to her ear. "Hello?" she said. At first, there was only silence. But then a whisper came. "Emily?" Emily's blood ran cold. She dropped the phone onto the floor. The sound of plastic hitting the wood echoed in the silent room. She stepped back, her knees weak. She felt as though invisible eyes were watching her from the darkness. She thought, "This cannot be real. Am I dreaming? Or is something here with me?" Emily stood frozen for a long moment. She could feel the fear filling her chest, making it hard to breathe. But then she remembered something. Her grandmother's words came back to her mind. Fear is only in your mind. Face it and it will disappear. Emily closed her eyes. She took a deep breath. Her voice trembled, but she spoke. I am not afraid. The room seemed to react. The flickering light steadied. The footsteps faded away. The tapping at the window stopped. Silence. Emily opened her eyes slowly. Her room was calm again. The shadows were gone. The lamp glowed warmly. She bent down and picked up her phone. The screen was dark, as if no call had ever happened. Emily let out a long breath. She was safe. Emily sat back on her bed, her hands still shaking a little, but she smiled, a small, proud smile. She realized something important. Her fear had not been stronger than her. She had been stronger than her fear. The night outside was still. The trees whispered softly in the wind, but it no longer scared her. The sound of the clock returned to normal. Tick, tick, tick. Emily picked up her book again. But this time, she wasn't just reading a mystery. She was living with new courage in her heart. Just as Emily felt calm again, a soft sound reached her ears. Not from inside the room, but from the hallway. Step, step, step. Slow, careful footsteps moved closer to her door. Emily froze, her body stiff. The sound grew louder, as if someone was only a few feet away. Her eyes locked on the doorknob. It rattled gently, as if invisible fingers were trying to turn it. The metal shook. Clink, clink, clink. Emily's throat felt dry, but she remembered her grandmother's words once again. She whispered to herself, "Fear lives only in the mind. I must face it." She stood up, her knees trembling, and slowly walked toward the door. The closer she came, the colder the air felt, as if the hallway itself was filled with ice. When she reached the door, she pressed her hand against it. The wood was freezing under her palm. Her heart pounded so hard she thought it would burst. "Finally," she whispered, louder this time, "I am not afraid of you." The rattling stopped. The footsteps faded, slowly, step by step, until there was nothing but silence. The hallway was empty once again. Emily leaned her forehead against the door and closed her eyes. She took a deep breath and whispered, "Fear cannot open the door of my heart anymore." At that moment, the lamp glowed even warmer, filling the room with calm light. Emily knew she had passed another test of courage. That night, Emily learned a powerful lesson. Fear often lives only in our imagination. When we are brave enough to face it, fear disappears. From that day on, Emily was stronger. She no longer feared the dark, the silence, or the strange noises of night. She carried her grandmother's words in her heart forever. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it and also practiced your English. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more beautiful stories for learning English. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.